I've got something for you. A letter.
A letter from me? That's impossible.
Oh boy, it's a time travel podcast. My name is Brian, and with me is the man whose destiny it is to keep the U.S. Post Office running.
Oh, God.
It's Nate Bowden, guys.
I don't like this role reversal. If that's where it goes.
Look, it's just an allusion to the fact that we're doing a mailbag episode. And it was Nate's idea. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming, he's the Kevin Costner in the wasteland of podcasts.
Just call me the postman. No, I thought this would be fun. We've got some fans out there, and listenership is growing. We just had a guest on last episode.
Yeah.
So I thought people that have been filling the email box, and we read a couple of selections.
The first letter is from Natasha, and it reads, "Hello from Soviet Union."
Wow, a real time travel letter.
Yeah. No, they're just really optimistic about that Ukraine thing.
Jeez.
Yeah. Slava Ukraine. She goes on to say, "You have sexy body." It's just a bot, guys. It's just a bot. No, but I know all our listeners are not Russian bots.
Not all of them.
No.
A portion of them, I'm sure.
Some of them. You're going to get some Russian bots.
You're going to get some Russian bots. But you're also going to get some genuine letters every now and again. And I thought that we could lay a promise out there as we grow. If you want to write in and you're a first-time writer and you offer us a recommendation, we'll do one of these mailbag episodes and read it on the air, as they say.
Do we have some recommendations?
I have an email that came through from a Christia Dayton. Christia. Kristia. Christia.
Okay.
Here, it's a real nice letter. It says, "Hi, guys. I love your podcast." Good way to start any letter.
Yeah, butter us up. That's always good.
In the last episode, you asked what other podcast I was listening to.
Oh.
There is one other time travel podcast called Time Travel Film Club, TTFC. You should look into that. What is that? Time Travel Film Club.
Let's see what...
By three funny British chaps that I enjoy.
Oh, boy, British chaps. We better throw in the towel, my friend. We can't compete with that.
You like British comedy? I see...
This parrot is no more. It has ceased to be.
That's kind of hit or miss with me.
There's a man named James Donnelly on it. We're toast. We're toast, I tell you. They've got some good episodes. Looking for some things.
Any overlap?
Oh, yeah, they've done a few. Oh, they did About Time and The Time Traveler's Wife on the same episode.
Ooh.
Obviously, they didn't devote enough time to it. Time Cop. Oh, they did Time Cop.
Oh, they did Time Cop?
Great. Don't touch me. Same matter can't occupy the same space.
I'd like to listen to that. I'll listen to their Time Cop episode. And they've done a couple episodes for things that we have on the docket for later this year, like Predestination and Primer.
You should reach out to these folks.
That might have been their very first episode, in fact.
Okay, well, I'll put you in charge of reaching out to these folks. Let's just see if we...
Cease and desist. No, I'm just kidding. No, I want to check out their show. I want to hear what they got to say about Time Cop.
Well, Christia goes on to say, "I actually started listening to them first, but they only post once a month and will take a long hiatus between seasons."
Wow, really?
That's actually how I found you guys. I must confess, I've never watched the reboot of Quantum Leap. I watched the original as a teen. I have watched literally thousands of time travel movies and shows and plan to watch the reboot of Quantum Leap while healing from an upcoming surgery.
That'll be good. You might want to skip a couple episodes.
And get well soon. But
good luck with the surgery.
I was going to say, I hope it's nothing too serious. So I did skip those episodes of your podcast for now. But I do want to say I love your podcast and your humor and your overall worldview and take on things.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I didn't know it came across.
You don't know how much I edit out, Christia.
Yeah. This should be a bonus episode that's just that.
Yeah.
It'll sound like a Lewis Black rant.
I do try to keep it calm and sort of neutral for people out there, but, obviously appreciate like-minded folks. Time travelers, forward-thinking types. Yeah, but as far as the Quantum Leap reboot, Christia, I'd say it's worth your time, certainly if you've got nowhere to go.
You're stuck in a room and you literally can't move for weeks. Go for it.
Yeah,
no,
why not?
I'm just kidding. That second season is really good. I will say there's a couple duds in there, but overall, season 2 is a lot of fun.
Well,
and season 1 has some really good moments in it too.
Yeah, I was going to say, no spoilers, because I do want you to go back and listen to our episode by episode breakdown, but remember how deflating season 2, episode 2 was?
Yeah.
Oh, man, did we crash on that one. When you get to that, Christian. Boy. Yeah, there was lots of highs and lows with that back when we were a Quantum Leap podcast.
Yeah. Boy, there
the
were.
Rise and fall with the reboot. It's kind of a shame, but at the same time, I like what we're doing now.
Yeah. Oh, this is fun, too.
Yeah.
I miss Quantum Leap. I do miss Quantum Leap.
I do, but I think I would miss the variety that we do now. Like being able to choose what we're going to listen to or watch or read,
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun in that.
But I'll be interested, Christia, once you get into this series, I'd love to hear from you and get your thoughts about how you think it's going. Quantum Leap.
But we won't read that on the air because it's only the first letter, folks.
Yeah.
First time writers only.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Kidding.
Unless you write something really good.
So she goes on, a lady after my own heart here. I did want to say that Mazzetta does a really great stuffed olive. Garlic stuffed and blue cheese stuffed are my personal faves. In my area, they are next to the regular pimento stuffed olives and not hard to find. Now, by this time...
You will have heard Nate's reaction to the garlic stuffed.
Oh, man.
Now, was it the Mazzetta?
No, remember mine were pearls.
That's right.
But I had already purchased those before this letter came through. And, yeah.
Maybe, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll go get the Mazzetta ones that she's talking about, because I didn't have them, and I know you are like...
I'm done with them.
Like, your body will be like, no. It's like rejecting a graft. It's like they tried to replace your liver with like a baboon liver, and you're like, oh, the body's rejecting it. And here's the deal. If I can't eat them, I know my wife will.
Oh.
She's the kind of person who would eat like a garlic, like a garlic. Like an apple,
Just
like
chew on it.
She's a freak.
Just chew on it like a carrot stick.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to eat the blue cheese stuffed ones in your stead, because I don't... Oof.
I'm going to try those. I would try those.
Blue cheese? No.
You put the word cheese in anything, and I'll probably eat it, man.
All right.
Big old cheeser over here.
I might go back to those jalapeno ones, and kind of look and see. Next time we have something special, like a guest or something like that, I'll go find something fancy schmancy.
You know what I think the jalapeno ones would go well with?
What's that?
Like a martini.
Sure.
Like if you made like a martini that had a little kick to it, and you put like some sort of jalapeno vodka or something, had something in it infused, and then you had those olives in there with the stuffed jalapeno. Boy, that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, mix it up for the Ziggy Awards.
There we go. Start doing mixed drinks
by the end of next year.
Yeah.
My other non-time travel podcasts are The Y-Files, The Last Days TMZ, Smartless.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know that one.
Smartless is Jason Bateman and Sean Hayes and Will Arnett. They get like a guest on each episode, and like two of them don't know who the guest's going to be until they pop in.
Fun.
My favorite was the Clooney episode. When they had Clooney on, I was laughing so hard that it was like, I can't listen to this while I'm driving a car. He tells stories about when he used to live in Hollywood with Richard Kind.
Oh.
And the shit that he put Richard Kind through as a roommate is just the worst stuff you've ever heard a human commit. willingly against a roommate, but it's like so goddamn hilarious. Clooney is just
Yeah. Well, that does
damn
fine.
man.
I do like those guys. I did not know they have a podcast, but then again, who doesn't have a podcast these days?
that's absolutely true.
I don't know it, but I've noticed that we have a lot of crossover with the Y files. People that follow us on the app tend to follow the Y files. Y being like WH.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not familiar with it particularly.
The Y files. Let's see what I got. The Y files Operation Podcast. Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. Is that what it is?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Oh, this sounds pretty promising. Is there one about Bigfoot? Oh, it's cryptids. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm in.
Yeah, that does sound fun.
Alien Vampires of the Amazon. God, it's a little too steamy for me.
I thought they were supposed to be fictitious.
No, these are real. All right.
Yeah.
Be diving into that one. For
Right.
sure.
We're about halfway through here. I love that you pick offbeat, non-commercial, independent type films. And that's all up to you there, Brian. You've been our program director for about a year now, probably.
So like Time Cop.
Yeah,
And,
that was me. See,
I
that
know.
far back.
You're always picking the mainstream ones, and I'm like, here's a French film from the 1960s.
I thought we might read this story from 1881.
Here's a movie, and I'm not going to tell Nate, but it's all in Spanish.
Exactly. You are. Yeah, she's right. You're the one that's in charge of all that. Here are her recommendations. Here are a couple of my favorites. Paradox Lost.
Paradox Lost.
Parallel. Primer, of course.
You got that one
And
coming up.
Infinite Man.
Paradox Lost. Parallel. And
Just without knowing anything about it, I feel like I would watch a movie called The Infinite Man.
The Infinite Man does sound good. It sounds like the title.
It's just says Infinite Man, so maybe just Infinite Man.
Infinite Man.
Infinite
Is there a
Man.
comma? Is there a comma after infinite?
Not in her grammar.
Okay. The Infinite Man sounds like the title of a Doctor Who episode. But
Right,
yeah,
or
you
like
know.
some kind of second-rate science fiction from the 1930s.
Yeah.
The Infinite Man. So I'd almost watch that based solely on the title.
for
And
sure.
then don't forget the time loop movies. Palm Springs.
It's on the list.
That was recommended to me. A Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
That's the title of the movie?
That's the... Yeah.
A Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
And then Loop.
The prequel to Looper?
No, which is a 2022 Bruno Beanie movie. And then one that's just called Triangle.
Okay, that one I've heard of.
Oh, okay. I was beginning to think she was fucking with us.
No. Like these are good. These are good because I've heard of half of them, and the other half I have not. So
And we've got a couple of open
yeah,
slots.
we do have some
you were
open
just
slots
saying.
here remaining this season, just for things like this. So might be able to slot one of those bad boys in there.
I'm not going to do any research on any of these. If you choose one to put into one
Just
of the
don't tell
open-
you about it. Just
Yeah, just say we're doing this one, and I'm not going to read a damn thing.
Okay.
I'm just going to find it and watch it.
all right.
No spoilers. And lastly, there are a couple of limited series, Tales from the Loop and Outer Range.
Yeah, I've heard Tales from the Loop is really interesting. Haven't gotten to watch it yet.
And a couple of longer. She keeps saying lastly and don't forget. but also
She's like the Columbo of email composers. Oh, one more thing.
You know, there's only one thing that I'm not clear about. Actually, there is one thing. One other thing. One more question, sir.
and a couple of longer series, Dark and Dark Matter.
I think I've mentioned Dark before.
You did. Yeah, I think we talked about that because it's relatively new.
Yeah, it's been on Netflix for a few years.
On-
I don't know how many seasons there's been. 4, 5, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the opening scene of it is about time travel, and I was like, whoa, what is this? You know?
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what
Yeah.
this was.
And then she finally does close the letter with, "Thank you for all your hours of enjoyment, and I hope you both have a happy spring and much success in your podcast. Well, thank you so much, Christia.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope that I'm saying your name right. But yeah, definitely. Thanks for reaching out and giving us a long laundry list of selections here. And
I'm glad you were inspired to reach out and give us all those recommendations. That's nice.
That's right. Good to hear from new listeners. I figure when people reach out, it's always good to, respond in some way. So, we have a legacy letter there that you wanted to bring up from one of our legacy listeners?
Oh. Well, it wasn't so much a letter as it was a, what do we call them on Blue Sky?
That's a good question. What do you call them on Blue Sky?
We used to call them tweets, right? But now we don't. I don't even know what you call them on that site anymore. So one of our friends of the show, Jeff Richardson, there was what was it? The My Old Ass episode, right?
Stop staring at my butt.
Was it the bonus episode? Or was it the
No,
main
I don't
episode?
think I cut it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it made it to the episode proper.
So in the My Old Ass episode, I told a brief story of the time I might have met myself from the future.
Oh, I don't think it's a question any longer.
Obviously, it happened, and Jeff shared a story from his life where he had potentially met a version of himself. And as soon as I started reading this, I was like, my God, that's what I should have asked people to email about. Like,
Right.
Send me emails of the times you think you met a time traveler, or even better, met yourself as a time traveler.
Because it's surely happened to others.
I mean, it's two of us already, and we'll figure it out. But Jeff told a story, and I really hope Jeff doesn't mind that we're sharing this story.
I thought about that, but then I was like, it's on social media, so clearly he put it out there.
So he met a guy who was too tall to be him, but had a similar vibe to himself. He said for some reason he took part in a longitudinal study. Never having done anything like that before, he arrived in a room large enough for 40 people, and he was the only person there. This guy, tall, white-haired, in his 60s or 70s. He keeps the lights dim with no explanation. He waits 5 minutes, decides no one else is coming, and shuts the door. Then he has Jeff fill out a form, height, weight, regular stuff, and then sets it aside and proceeds to rap with him for a bit. Sometime during this, he asked me, "Have you ever seen a UFO?" And Jeff responds, "I think so." which is the best response I've ever. It's perfect. And Jeff tells him his story. Saw an enormous black triangle that blotted out the sky once near his house. I'm thinking of the one, from the X-Files, the big triangle ships in the sky. His friend who was driving slows the car and says, "What's that?" And they all crane their necks. Sure enough, they could see no stars for the entire distance between the tops of the evergreen trees. They get a strange, calm feeling and then get moving, and they don't speak of it for 30 years.
30 years?
So this older fellow then asks Jeff if he remembered any messages or further contact. Jeff's response is if they had, he didn't remember. He tells Jeff that it's possible and hands him 2 books about contact with aliens, one about the studies done by John Mack at Harvard, and another called Encounters of the Fourth Kind. Jeff read those books cover to cover, kept them on his bookshelf, sees the covers all the time, knowing that could have happened, that it could happen again in the future. He says is now informed how I treat people for the rest of my life. I chose to be good so they'd take me with them. What if I'd originally become a total dickhead? This guy came back to give me hope and set me on the right path. What if aliens or future people or alternate dimensions exist and we could go there and bring something good from there to here? I love thinking about that guy. And then he goes on to talk about how he really liked the terra firma episodes of Discovery because it gave Emperor Giorgio a chance to go back and do things differently and reckon with the way her society turned her into a tyrant.
Is that like a time travel recommendation? Like, hey, check out these episodes?
That was more of a parallel universe time travel kind of thing.
Okay.
Like that 2-parter, this episode reminds us of who we might be if we tried to be someone else. If that old dude was me or some do-gooder coming back to change me, I wish they'd convince me to make 1 or 2 much better choices. But maybe I had to do those things to be much less awful down the road. I'd love to be able to fix myself, but that's not how it works. As for who I
Yeah.
might have loved or chosen not to love had the change not been made, I hope it led to more good than harm. God forbid there are evil leapers running around trying to make us turn evil. That is wild. That is pretty wild, too. And, you know, maybe it was a version of Jeff from the future. Maybe it was just an alien in human form.
Maybe.
That's what I would think. This dude was an alien.
You think more alien than time
Or a
travel?
man in black. I real get like that Jesse Ventura vibe from him.
Yeah, right. Or the Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
No other object has been misidentified as a flying saucer more often than the planet Venus.
He kind of looked like Alex Trebek, the game show host.
Alex Trebek, the game show host?
Yeah, that's my favorite
That's
episode
so
of X-Files.
good.
But yeah, being able to be open about weird experiences like that, the fact that it affected him positively is what you have to come away with.
These are always
you know?
the most fascinating things to me, like first-hand accounts of weird shit. I love people telling me about weird shit that happened to them. You know,
Yeah.
One of my buddies told me the story of how he, growing up, saw a faceless ghost in the corner of his bedroom. And I'm like, well, that's pretty fucked up. But at the same time, I'm like, this is a dude I trust telling me this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love ghost stories. I'm not one to believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts, but my wife does. And I love ghost stories.
Sure. Yeah.
See, this is weird because I'm on the record here as not liking horror movies. I don't like jump scares and stuff, but I do kind of like creepy things like, ooh, ghost story. Like, I love to talk about ghosts.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy it. I love that stuff. I love cryptids and all that weird, like, X-File-y style stuff. So
Yeah.
anytime somebody has a weird story like that or unexplained story or something like that, I love to hear it. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to buy into it 100%.
Your scientists have yet to discover how neural networks create self-consciousness, let alone how the human brain processes two-dimensional retinal images into the three-dimensional phenomenon known as perception. Yet you somehow brazenly declare, seeing is believing?
But I do love hearing them and thinking about them. That's really exciting. And if this can be an avenue to more stories like that, then hell yeah, I'll do more mailbag episodes.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about people's experiences with time travel or, you know, let's turn this show into Coast to Coast AM. Do you guys remember that?
Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
No, it was different. It was different.
Oh, okay. There is a Space Ghost time travel episode. I went in an internet deep dive the other night watching Space Ghost from 1966, like the actual
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the,
Yeah, sure.
the Space Ghost cartoon. And there's one about time travel in there.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, they do that.
That's not real good.
Rest in peace to George Lowe, by the way, the voice of Space Ghost on Space Ghost Coast to Coast and the other Cartoon Network shows, who passed away,
Yeah.
I think about a week or two ago.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind watching a time travel episode of Space Ghost.
It's only 7 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, so we'll only talk about it for 80 minutes?
Yeah, right. Probably wouldn't have any bonus material,
That's right.
but we could probably get a full episode out of it. But yeah, we're really enjoying being able to post things about once a week, 4 times a month, even if it is just sort of bonus episodes or little short things like this.
Yeah.
If you guys keep reaching out and you want to hear more things like the Oh Boy mailbag, we'll have to come up with a better title for this type of episode.
Yeah, nobody uses mailbags anymore.
No. We need something futuristic for time travel.
The Oh Boy Communication Pod.
The time capsule.
Ooh.
No. Maybe.
That's it.
I
We're
don't
getting
know.
there.
There's
We're getting there.
something
We're getting close to it.
Workshop it. Maybe by the next time we do something like this, we'll have an idea. But thanks to all the fans out there that are listening to us on the regular basis. Please do reach out if you haven't already. We'd love to hear from you. And what do we have coming up next episode,
Oh, man.
Brian?
Well, before we get to that, I do want to let everybody know about one thing I did not remember to bring up on the last episode. So, people of our age and generation, I think, have very fond memories of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And
Yes.
of course, several of those guys have broken off and they've been doing riff tracks for well over 10 years now. And
Oh, yeah, even longer than
part
that.
of Riff Tracks is they do live shows periodically. And for the last several years, because getting the rights to some of these movies they've done live, like Point Break, takes some money. So they've turned to crowdfunding on it. And the Riff Tracks guys are currently running their Kickstarter for this year. And I couldn't believe it when I saw what they were doing. I was just floored. They're doing Time Cop this year.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Millennium.
I really, they have to pick a movie that people remember.
No, they don't.
They don't. No, they don't. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Time Cop is the movie they're doing this year. The live show is going to be at the Belcourt Theater in Nashville on July 26th, and then the streaming event in theaters will be on August 14th. Now, their campaign's running until April 7th. It is already guaranteed to be funded. Like, they've already made their money for the campaign. So this is real. It's going to happen, but there are a lot of stretch goals. And if you're a Riff Tracks fan like me, even pledging just like $10 is going to net you like a bunch of Riff Tracks shorts, which are some of the funniest ones. So I encourage everybody to check that out. And I don't know, maybe later this summer, we may need to do an episode about the Time Cop Riff Tracks experience.
And we'd like to announce our crowdfunding. Get Nate and Brian to the Riff Tracks live show. where we can
go to Nashville for the live show.
Well, the thing that I wanted to add from a prior episode I failed to mention was also about Time Cop.
Oh.
Remember when we were talking about the Time Cop comic, and I convinced you, see, this may screw up our rankings, our Time Machine rankings, because I feel like I convinced you the movie one was better because I told you the car never leaves the track.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was going back through my editing process, grabbing some audio and whatnot, and it does. It disappears.
It disappears, and then it just...
They get to the end of the track, and it does disappear.
Oh.
Somebody had ample opportunity to write in and correct me, so feel free to do that on occasion as well. But yeah, no, it does disappear. The car does go away. I always just assumed that the camera cut away and cut to
but no, it goes through,
Jean-Claude Van Damme arriving, but it really does. It disappears at the end of the track. So now I don't know. I mean, I still like it.
It's still pretty cool.
It's still cool, but my whole image of it was, the car stops and you keep going. But if the car disappears too, then where did it go?
Right, like at least the one in the
Damn
comic wrecks into a tree and then it drives off and goes back to the future.
Back to the future!
Yeah, and somehow it gets sucked back to the future.
Back to the future!
For some
Like
reason.
we actually see that happen.
Yeah, like I don't know why. Like I still think that makes less sense. Like why bring the car if you then don't...
Look, I would say it somehow raises additional questions. Let's just say that. I can't even say it raises more questions. But, yeah. Just, it raises different questions.
Too many questions. There's too many questions. There's just too many.
At any rate, I felt like I should mention that I had made an argument, and now I'm really very disappointed that I had just in my mind just assumed that it was a cutaway. But no, you actually see it disappear instead of slamming into that wall or whatever.
Man.
Oh, well, can't have them all.
It's hard to keep track of all these things, you know?
It is.
If only we had like a list and we talked about it.
Well, again, folks, we're really enjoying being able to post things about once a week, 4 times a month, even if it is just sort of bonus episodes or little short things like this.
Yeah.
If you guys keep reaching out and you want to hear more things like the Oh Boy Mailbag, we'll have to come up with a better title for this type of episode.
Yeah, nobody uses mailbags anymore.
No. We need something futuristic for time travel.
The Oh Boy Communication Pod.
The time capsule.
Ooh.
No, maybe. I don't know. There's
we're
something
getting there.
there.
We're getting there. We're getting close to it.
Workshop it. Maybe by the next time we do something like this, we'll have an idea. But thanks to all the fans out there that are listening to us on the regular basis. Please do reach out if you haven't already. We'd love to hear from you. If you're at all interested in being featured on a mailbag episode, the email address is ohboyqlpod@gmail.com. That's ohboyqlpod@gmail.com. And some people might be saying, QL? What? Why QL?
Oh, you guys, go back and listen to the first few episodes and you'll understand.
Yeah, we were a Quantum Leap podcast. No longer, but we kept the same email address, ohboyqlpod@gmail.com. Write in, please, won't you?
Absolutely.
Until the next time, my name is Nate.
And I'm Brian.
And we'll see you in the future.
I sent it out in an email blast.
I'm not sure I understood much of that, but I'm guessing it doesn't mean a engraved note on the house stationery.